Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Nomad Xplores channel. Today, we'll visit 5 famous tourist destinations in Hue City together. These destinations are the Esplanade of Sacrifice to the Heaven and Earth, Hon Chen Temple, Ton That Thuyet Temple, Temple of Literature, Temple of Martial Arts, and An Dinh Palace. Our first destination today is the Esplanade of Sacrifice to the Heaven and Earth, which is also called the Nam Giao Altar, located in Truong An ward. The Nam Giao Altar was the place for Vietnamese kings to hold ceremonies to worship heaven and earth. These ceremonies were considered the most important ritual, because the kings were the only ones who had enough power to communicate and pray to heaven and earth. That was also an action that affirmed the legitimacy and authority of the kings during the monarchy. Therefore, after ascending the throne, King Gia Long ordered the construction of the Nam Giao Altar, so that the Nguyen kings could organize offerings to heaven and earth every spring. The Nam Giao Altar consists of 3 floors, built of stacked bricks, nearly 4.7 meters high. The structure and size of the floors are very harmonious and balanced. According to an Oriental theory, these 3 levels carry the meaning of heaven, earth, human beings, and heaven is round and earth is square. The bottom floor, called the lower altar, is square and symbolizes human beings. This lower floor has a side length of 165 meters and a height of 0.84 meters, surrounded by a railing of 0.93 meters high and 0.3 meters thick. The middle altar is also square in shape and symbolizes earth. This middle floor has a side length of 83 meters and a height of 1.1 meters. There is a railing around it, 0.9 meters high and 0.3 meters thick. During the Nguyen dynasty, the altar was the place to sacrifice to mountain gods who are the guardians of royal mausoleums and graves, and to all the gods throughout Vietnam. The top floor is the upper altar, which is round in shape and symbolizes heaven. The top floor has a diameter of 40.5 meters and a height of 2.8 meters, surrounded by a railing over 0.8 meters high and 0.3 meters thick. During the Nguyen dynasty, the upper altar was the place to sacrifice to heaven and earth, along with Lord Nguyen Hong and the deceased Nguyen kings. In the Nam Giao Altar, the Nguyen dynasty ordered to plant many pine trees, a tree species that, according to Confucian beliefs, symbolizes the spirit of a gentleman. The construction of the Nam Giao Altar began in early 1806, and was completed in March 1807. The first sacrificial ceremony was held by King Gia Long shortly thereafter. Since then, the Nguyen dynasty regularly held sacrificial ceremonies in the middle of February each year. From 1886 to 1890, the court did not hold any sacrificial ceremonies. Since 1891, every 3 years, King Nguyen came to worship heaven and earth at the Nam Giao Altar. The last sacrificial ceremony of the Nguyen dynasty here was on March 23, 1945. According to statistics, 10 out of 13 Nguyen kings personally sacrificed, or sent people to sacrifice on their behalf, at 98 great ceremonies at the Nam Giao Altar. In 1993, the Esplanade of Sacrifice to the Heaven and Earth was recognized by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage. In 1997, the altar was ranked as a National Historical Cultural Relic, and was initially restored. The next destination we're going to visit is Hon Chen Temple. Hon Chen Temple is located on Ngoc Tran Mountain, in Ngoc Ho Village, Hung Ho Ward, Hung Tra Town. After visiting Khai Din Mausoleum or Thu Tri Mausoleum, if you want to continue to visit Hon Chen Temple, you go back and follow Highway 49. Around this location with a sign indicating Hon Chen Temple, you turn onto a village road. This road is big enough for cars to pass, and leads to a boat station. And this is the boat station. You can park your cars or motorcycles here, and take a boat across the river. Hon Chen Temple is on the other bank of the Perfume River. This is the boat used to transport tourists to Hon Chen Temple. This boat is a means to help people here earn some extra income to cover their costs of living. This is the section of the Perfume River in Hung Tra town. In the past, to go to Hon Chen Temple to sacrifice, the Nguyen kings often took dragon boats along the Perfume River, starting from the boat station in front of the Hue Citadel, and ending here. Hon Chen Temple was built on a mountain called Ngoc Tran. At the top of the mountain there is a hollow, with several meters in diameter. A ring of rocks surrounds this hollow, causing water to be trapped when it rains, looking like a bowl of clear water. Therefore, this mountain is popularly called Hon Chen, meaning Bowl Island. And of course, the temple on this mountain is popularly called Hon Chen Temple. Folklore also tells that the ancient Hon Chen Temple was called Hon Chen, with the meaning of the return of a bowl. This name Hon Chen comes from an anecdote related to King Min Mang. The story tells that, during a visit here, King Min Mang accidentally dropped a jade bowl into the Perfume River. Thinking there was no way to get the cup back, the king suddenly saw a big turtle emerged, holding the jade cup in its mouth, and returned it to the king. Hon Chen Temple was originally a temple worshipping goddess Panagur, the mother goddess of the Cham people. According to Cham folk legend, goddess Panagur is the child of the Jade Emperor, sent to earth to help people. She is credited with creating the earth, base wood, and rice. Perhaps the goddess of the Cham people, in terms of spirituality, has similarities with the goddesses of the Vietnamese people. So, the Vietnamese people could easily integrate the divine beliefs with their own nuances of the Cham people. This is considered religious integration, or religious localization. The name Panagur was changed to Tien Na to match the Chinese style, but still carried a certain equivalent meaning. After waiting too long but could not succeed his adoptive father King Tu Duc, Nguyen Phuc Ki, later King Dong Khan, sent someone to go to Hon Chen Temple to invoke and ask goddess Tien Na if he would become king. She said he would be satisfied. Therefore, after ascending the throne, King Dong Khan immediately rebuilt Hon Chen Temple in a more spacious way. He also ordered more worship objects to be made, and changed the name of Hon Chen Temple to Hue Nam Temple to express his gratitude to the Holy Mother. Hue Nam means bestowing favor on the country and the king in the south. However, because King Dong Khan's reign was short, just over 3 years, the local people were still not familiar with this new name. Therefore, the Temple of Ngoc Tran Mountain is still called Hon Chen Temple until today. Hon Chen Temple consists of about 10 different architectural works. These buildings all face the Perfume River and are hidden under tall trees. Located in the middle of this architectural block is the main hall, Min Kin Dai. Main Hall Min Kin Dai was the place where ceremonies were held, twice a year, during the first week of March and July of the lunar calendar. The Nguyen court sent mandarins to act as celebrants. Min Kin Dai is divided into 3 palaces, in order from high to low: the first palace, the second palace, and the third palace. The first palace or upper palace is the place to worship goddess Tian or Na, Holy Mother Van Hung, King Dong Khan, and a number of other gods. The second palace worships dozens of different divine statues, and is also the place where worship objects are displayed for procession during major festivals. The third palace is the place where ceremonies are held, and is also where pilgrims offer incense and worship the goddess. In front of you is the temple, worshipping the 5 mother goddesses in Vietnamese mother worship beliefs. Next to the temple of the 5 mother goddesses are the altar for mandarins and the cave worshipping tiger. In addition to worshipping mothers, at Hon Chen Temple, Buddha, Quan Kong, and their disciples are also worshipped. It can be said that Hon Chen Temple has an important position in the spiritual life of the people of the ancient capital. It is also the only temple in this city with a harmonious and unique combination of royal rituals and folk beliefs. In addition, Hon Chen Temple is also the intersection of many religious beliefs, which have different nuances. Hon Chen Temple was recognized by the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism as a national monument in 1998. Our third destination today is the Ton That Thuyet Temple, a national historic monument, located in Van the Village, Thuy Ton Commune, Hung Thuy Town, Tho Tien Hu Province. From the Ton Ton Tile Bridge, if you go about 2 kilometers further north, you will reach the temple worshipping Ton That Thuyet, a mandarin of the Nguyen dynasty. Ton That Thuyet was born in 1839 in the ancient capital. He was the second child of provincial military commander Ton That Dinh, and the 5th-generation grandson of Hien Vong Nguyen Phuc Tan. During his career, Ton That Thuyet was appointed to hold many important positions, and accomplished many achievements, so he was quickly promoted by King Tu Duc. In 1883, Ton That Thuyet officially accepted the position of Minister of Infantry, a position equivalent to today's Minister of Defense, and was then appointed to the Privy Council. On July 19, 1883, King Tu Duc summoned a number of ministers to witness the signing of the will, to pass the throne to Prince Ung Chon. At the same time, King Tu Duc appointed Ton That Thuyet as the third chief minister, after Tran Tien Ton and Nguyen Van Tuong, to help Ung Chon succeed the king, in July 1883. After the uprising against the French in 1885 failed, Ton That Thuyet assisted King Hemgi to go to Quang Tri, to organize an insurrection against the French. On behalf of King Hemgi, he issued the Can Bong Edict, calling on the patriotic Vietnamese people to stand up and fight against the French. Ton That Thuyet traveled back and forth to many places, including China, to build military bases and movements against the French. In early 1887, Ton That Thuyet went to China to ask for help from the Qing dynasty against the French. However, the Manchu Qing court, at the request of France, placed him under house arrest in Guangdong, so his patriotic activities ended. He died in 1913 in Guangdong, China. Ton That Thuyet Temple was originally the family's worship palace, built by Ton That Thuyet around 1866. After Ton That Thuyet's death, the family used this palace as a place to worship him. This is the temple, newly built in 2014 by the descendants of this famous general. The overhead wall was engraved with his highest rank and position. You see up there, it's a certificate of recognition as a historic and cultural relic. The Ton That Thuyet Temple was recognized as a national monument by the then Ministry of Culture and Information, now the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, in 1994. According to online information, currently, Ton That Thuyet's grave still remains in Guangdong, China. Descendants of the Nguyen Phuc clan have repeatedly asked the Guangdong government for permission to bring his remains back to his hometown for burial. Since his grave has now become an important tourist destination in Guangdong, the local government there does not approve of its relocation. Therefore, his descendants worship his tablet and bronze statue in this temple. The next destination is the Temple of Literature and the Temple of Martial Arts, about a few hundred meters from Tien Mu Pagoda. The Temple of Literature and the Temple of Martial Arts are located next to each other, at 72 Van Ton Street, in Hung Ho Ward. The Temple of Literature was built in 1808, under the reign of King Gia Long, to worship Confucius and sages, to honor and encourage Confucianism. During the reigns of Kings Min Maing, Phu Tri, and Ton Tai, the Temple of Literature was restored and upgraded. In the past, the kings and mandarins sailed along the Perfume River to reach the temple. From the boat dock on the riverbank up to the main temple, they walked through 3 gates. The first gate is Lin Tin Mon, the gate you see across the street. The second gate is the Van Mu Mon. And the third gate is Dai Ton Mon, the black gate in front. Dai Ton Mon is one of the few remaining architectural works of the Temple of Literature, after many historical events in the country. The gate bears the mark of time, with walls covered in green moss, but still stands proudly between heaven and earth. The Temple of Literature was built on an area of about 3 hectares of land, including Dai Ton Palace, the main hall worshipped Confucius, the 4 sages, and the 12 philosophers. The left and right houses worshipped the Confucian scholars. There were also places for kings and mandarins to prepare their ceremonial clothes before entering the altar. The kitchen and the warehouse were also included in the area. This is a picture of the Temple of Literature, taken by photographer Nguyen in 1965. The photo is stored at the National Archives Center. The large building in the center of the picture is Dai Ton Palace. Comparing the photo taken in 1965 with the actual image today, you can see that many works in the Temple of Literature no longer exist, especially the Dai Ton Palace. In front of the Dai Ton Palace, there are 2 rows of 32 stone steels, engraved with names honoring 293 doctors of the Nguyen dynasty, starting from the first examination, in the 3rd year of Min Meng, 1822, to the last examination, in the 4th year of Khai Din, 1919. Each stele was placed on the back of a stone turtle. Unknowingly, the stone turtles have different shapes and sizes. At the end of each row of the stone steles, and in front of Dai Ton Palace, there is a stele house with a larger stele engraved with the king's epitaph. The stele in the stele house on the right recorded the edict of King Min Meng, strictly prohibiting eunuchs from participating in politics. The stele in the stele house on the left recorded the edict of King Phu Tri, prohibiting King Nguyen's maternal relatives from participating in the government. The inscriptions on the doctoral stele have faded over the years, so the local authorities have the roofs built to preserve these relics. These 2 roofs do not exist in the photo of the temple taken in 1965. This is the foundation of what was formerly Dai Ton Palace. After over 2 centuries, the Temple of Literature is currently abandoned and in a state of serious deterioration. In order to preserve, restore, and embellish this work, the People's Council of Thuet Province has decided to approve the investment project, repair, embellish and adaptively restore the Temple of Literature Relic, Phase 1. The project has a total investment of nearly 66 billion Vietnamese dong, extracted from the budget, and will be implemented in 3 years. Right next to the Temple of Literature is the Temple of Martial Arts. The Martial Temple was built during the reign of King Min Meng, in recognition of the contributions of national heroes, Tran Quoc Tuan, under the Tran dynasty, Lu Koi, under the Lu dynasty, famous generals who founded the country, and doctors of 3 martial arts competitions held by the Nguyen dynasty. After the Temple of Literature in the capital was built in the 9th year of Gia Long, 1808, provinces throughout the country took turns building their local temples of literature. The establishment of temples of literature across the country showed that the Nguyen court greatly focused on Confucianism and highly valued education. However, martial arts under the Nguyen dynasty also played an important role. Therefore, in 1835, according to the recommendation of the Ministry of Rites, King Min Maung approved the construction of the Temple of Martial Arts to show interest in military training and promote martial arts. The Temple of Martial Arts was built in 1835 and has a circumference of about 400 meters. It originally consisted of a main hall, in front of which were the left house and the right house, facing each other. The temple is surrounded by a wall. This is the main hall, having communal house structure, and including 3 compartments and 2 wings. There are 5 altars inside. The hall is the remaining relic of the temple. In front of you is the house, which is completely degraded. This house is located in front, to the left of the main hall, so maybe this is the left house. We are inside the left house. Nomad is not very clear about the function of this house. Perhaps, the house was once used to prepare sacrifices for the main hall. We can see that this relic is being abandoned. In 1839, King Min Maung ordered to erect 3 martial arts steles in the temple's yard, engraved with the names, hometowns, titles, and achievements of 10 famous generals, who contributed many victories during the 2 reigns of King Gia Long and King Min Maung. Later, King Tu Duc ordered to erect 2 more steles to record the names of doctors, who passed the 3 martial arts examinations held in 1865, 1868, and 1869. On the ground of the temple, there are also a number of ancient tombs, whose identities are unknown. If anyone knows whose these graves belong to, please let Nomad know in the comments section. Our final destination today is An Dinh Palace, located on the banks of the Ant Q River, at number 97, Phan Dinh Phung Street. Right at this location, since 1902, under the reign of King Ton Thuyet, Nguyen Phuc Bu Dao, later known as King Khai Dinh, established his own palace, and named it An Dinh Palace. In 1917, after ascending the throne, King Khai Dinh used his own money to renovate An Dinh Palace into a palace, with a modern architectural style. From February 28, 1922, An Dinh Palace became the residence before the coronation of Crown Prince Vinh Thuy, later known as King Bao Dai. After his abdication in 1945, former King Bao Dai's family moved from the imperial city to live at An Dinh Palace. This is Khai Tuong Building, the highlight of An Dinh Palace. The name Khai Tuong was given by King Khai Dinh, meaning it is the place where good omen begins. Khai Tuong Building resembles European castles and has 3 floors. An Dinh Palace originally had about 10 structures. They were the boat dock, the main gate, the Truong Lap Pavilion, the Khai Tuong Building, the Q2 Dai Theater, the animal cage, the water pool. Currently, only 3 structures survive the wars and time: the main gate, the Truong Lap Pavilion, and the Khai Tuong Building. This is Truong Lap Pavilion, having an octagonal structure and high foundation. In the middle of the pavilion is a life-sized bronze statue of King Khai Din, cast in 1920. An Dinh Palace was recognized as a national monument under the category of artistic architecture in 2006.